This Choircast podcast is brought to you by Heretic Happy Hour, whose tagline is burning questions, not people. You know, we've been around for a long time now, and we've had many different lineups. And Heretic Happy Hour is only getting bigger and better with guest hosts like Rainn Wilson, David Bentley Hart, John Fugelsang, Candida Moss, Elaine Pagels, and of course, December Rose. 2024 and 2025 are turning out to be our best years yet. So check us out on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's Heretic Happy Hour. We hope to see you soon.
Hey, heathens. You're listening to the Deadly Faith Podcast, where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Laci.
And this shit is perturbed.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
You are so good at this. Again, I know nothing about this case. The name sounds familiar. I was looking at it today and I was like, Ashley Wadsworth. That name sounds familiar, but it's ringing no bells. There are no bells a jingling.
It came on a lot of in 2022, it was a lot in a lot of true crime circles.
Okay.
So it makes sense that it may have passed by your radar.
Okay.
And that's why it seems familiar.
Once you start talking about it, it might be like, oh, it's that case.
Probably. Okay. I'm not sure. But
okay. Hey, heathens, before we dive into today's episode, I am so freaking excited to announce that my book, Leaving the Sanctuary, is now available to purchase. You can get it on Amazon. It is available. It's on Kindle and paperback. It will be coming as an audiobook very soon, but that's going to take just a little bit. I will keep you guys updated here on the podcast and on my socials. So give me a follow so you can be all up to date. If you end up purchasing the book, share on social media. I would love that. And please tag me so I can see everybody who's reading it. I want to hear what you think about it. And if it resonated with your own journey of deconstruction, I want to hear all the things. Remember, it's called Leaving the Sanctuary, Discovering Life Beyond the Boundaries of Religion. And it is available now, November 12th on Amazon. There will be a link in the show notes for you to get it. Thanks, guys. Now back on to today's episode.
Trigger warnings before we get started. Graphic murder.
Ooh.
Domestic abuse. A little bit of animal abuse.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Alrighty.
So Ashley Wadsworth, she is from Vernon, Canada. Don't ask me where that is.
She's in Canada.
Bacon. I got nothing. Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
The typical American that knows nothing about Canada. But
I know they have providences.
Beautiful country, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Pretty. Never been there.
I would love to visit, honestly.
I would too. Tyler's been there.
Me and you will go.
When he lived in Idaho as a kid, Canada was literally like not even a 2-hour drive from North Idaho where they live. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, because Coeur d'Alene's like up at the peak of Idaho. So
yeah, that
makes sense.
Hours,
bam, you're in Canada. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley was a happy, playful, very funny person. I watched a lot of her videos that she made because she loved posting online.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It always makes it so much more.
When you have tangible, or I don't know if it's tangible, but you have recorded memories of them, it makes it a little bit harder.
Video will live on forever for the most part, but especially online. You post it online, it never dies unless the internet.
You get to stay that age in that video forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's obvious, but it just seems powerful to me in a way. I don't know.
That was the videos of Shanann Watts. Those the videos of her and the kids fucking broke me.
Oh, I think it was Cece that sang "I Love My Daddy" or "My Daddy's My Hero."
Yes, just rip my heart out, stomp on it, and just put it through a grinder. Yep.
Well, Ashley, she loved posting online. She had TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Literally everything you could think of social media wise. She was all about it.
Yeah.
Which is just not surprising because she's born in the 90s,
Yeah. So she was
born in early 2000. 2001.
I was about to say.
Sorry, 2001 she was born. Sorry.
She was surprised, babe.
She's just a baby.
She was a baby.
Yeah. I just know that she was really funny growing up, and she was a really good friend and sister, and she loved her family. That's all I really know about her childhood. I'm starting the story when she's 12. So
Okay.
when Ashley was 12, she met a guy named Jack on Facebook. This is so common though, okay? Internet friends.
Yeah.
Listen, and I don't, okay. Let me approach this carefully with tact.
Okay.
I love a good internet friend, you know? When I was a teenager, I had my little internet friends on Tumblr and Pinterest, and our relationships were solely based online, never IRL. So, and it was fine, you know?
That is...
It can be tricky though.
It's so pre my time.
I know.
So pre my time, because any technology I had, I also was poor growing up. So like the only thing I had, and it was like years after everybody else got one, but we had a family computer that was in like a family centered location. And when you would try to sneak onto the internet at night, it made the most obnoxious noise to dial up. Did you have dial up internet?
When I was younger, we did, because my mom worked from home as a medical transcriptionist. So she had to have internet. Even when like it was, you know, first of thing, she had to, get with it.
It's so fucking loud. And so
very
like,
loud. And it's attached to your home phone, right?
Wasn't
dial-up?
So
okay.
Be on the phone and on the internet at the same time.
Yeah.
And like the worst thing we had was like AOL Instant Messenger. And I was still kind of young. My brother got into like meeting people through AIM and like actually met up with him when he was older. But I was just a couple years younger than him. And I didn't really get into that kind of stuff, but like it was still on the cusp.
Yeah.
But I never made friends in real life or like met people in real life that I had met online until like the last like 5 years. Yeah.
Well, Facebook relationships and friendships.
Facebook changed things with that. Yeah.
Very common in the early 2010s. So this just tracks. Well, he was from Britain, and they would talk back and forth a lot. They were friends, real friendly. And then
some guy from Britain messaged me. I'd be like, hi.
So
do you have an accent? Oh my gosh.
Of course he had an accent. Yeah.
I know. That's why I'd be like, okay, I'll talk to you.
I know. Yeah.
I would.
So they became really fast friends, and even Ashley's mom and sister really liked him. He would mail her things from what her sister had said. Her sister's name was Haley. He was Ashley's little boyfriend, though. Like after becoming fast friends, they suddenly started to be a little more flirty, you know, as teenagers do with the hormones. He was also Mormon. Just want to throw that out there. I'm not done. If you thought I was done with my Mormon bullshit, I'm back on it. I'm back on it. Okay.
It's so funny. I was like,
she said, when will she get away
from it? I should have known. It's a Mormon kid.
You know what, y'all, if you want to look good, just be good. And actually, in this case, you guys do look good. I will say. I don't have anything bad to say this time. I'm actually impressed.
You really thought you knew where this was going.
You really thought you knew what I'd say, but
you did not.
So there's a little bit of a problem here with Jack from the get-go. So he's 4 years older than her, so 12 and 16. When you were 16, did you have anything in common with the 12-year-old? Because I sure as hell did not.
I sure as fuck did not. That's a huge
gap in development, like psychologically, physically, everything.
You might disagree with me, listeners, but to me, a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old's gap in age is the equivalent of like probably a 20-year-old and a early 30s person. It's a huge gap. Is it wrong? No. But like in my early 30s, am I interested in a 21-year-old? Absolutely not.
Your goals are totally different. You're not on the same track most of the time. Emotionally.
Are there exceptions? Absolutely. I met a girl in one of my classes last year that like when I say she's an old soul, that doesn't even begin to describe this child. And I say child because she's still in her teens. But I could see her dating an older man and it being a very healthy relationship because she is years beyond her actual age.
It's fine once it's past the age of like, if you're of consenting age and it's a consensual relationship, I don't care. But it's a little bit shaky ground with them being so young and such a big gap like that. It's just, she's a child and he's a teenager. They're both children, but whatever. So huge gap there. So they still talk though. They're still very flirty. They're boyfriend, girlfriend, they're long distance. They still have never met in person. They FaceTime all the time. They talk on the phone constantly. You know, when Ashley turned 16, things got serious with Jack. They were saying, I love you. Like I said before, constantly in contact with each other. And Ashley asked her parents if she could go visit Jack. And they said no, because they're smart people.
Sorry, not sorry. I would definitely say no.
First of all, they couldn't afford to do that. Secondly, it's just, that's a strange person. Like, yes, we know him a little bit through FaceTime. We know him a little bit through talking to him. But at the same time, this is a stranger still.
Yeah. And I wouldn't send her by herself if I would have said anything.
That's the thing. One of them would have to accompany, which made it even more expensive. Right. It's just not.
Overseas, that's pricey plane tickets.
So she was too young and they told her, you need to wait until you're an adult and see if as two grown adults, you guys have a real attraction and the connection is solid.
Yeah.
So they were being very rational about this and measured and giving her realistic answers about this. So she wasn't happy, but it was out of her hands at that point.
And they weren't like keeping her from him.
No, they were allowing her to talk to him all the time. And I don't know. They didn't take away her phone or like ban her from the relationship. So
we're here on this podcast. We know this is not going to end in sunshine and rainbows, okay? But I'm sure people are going to be like, I would have just banned them from talking from the beginning. But you have to think of the other side. Like, who was the girl you covered who like literally wiped out her entire family?
Oh,
burned
yeah.
their house and then the dad survived. What was her name?
Erin Caffey.
Erin Caffey, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like her parents like tried to keep her in that tiny little bubble. And then this
didn't
happened.
work out.
You do what you feel is best as a parent, and that's all you can do.
Every family unit works differently. Everyone has different dynamics with their kids too. So I think in this case, her parents did the best thing possible.
Yeah.
And they were still kind to Jack and her, and they still like respected them being in an online long distance relationship. So they just said, wait until you're adults.
Yeah.
So she wasn't thrilled, but she was agreeable. In 2021, I'm skipping a little bit. So in 2021, she is 18.
Oh.
So
she's technically an adult.
She's like going on 19.
Okay.
She decided, I don't want to be in Vernon, Canada anymore. It's really small. I want to go to a bigger city. I want to go to England and be with Jack, and I want my life to be bigger and livelier, and I just want things to be different. She was making a lot of changes around this time. She also became Mormon when she turned 18.
Oh. She not reverted that. She converted.
Yeah.
She converted to his religion. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. She became Mormon, and she told her family her reason for this is that she had a God moment. I don't know exactly what that meant, but her sister and mom described it as just she had this like kind of spiritual connection with like the testimony of Joseph Smith and the whole like God speaking to him, whatever. And she felt like she had something similar happen. So,
okay.
She decided based on her God moment, she wanted to convert to Mormonism. So,
okay.
She did that. I don't want people to start coming for her and be like, she just converted because her boyfriend. That probably was a factor. You're probably right. She doesn't have a fully developed frontal lobe.
Yeah.
She's thinking with her heart, you know?
Yeah.
I
Why did I go
understand.
to Wednesday night youth group? For boys. That was the only reason I went. I pretend I did love Jesus, okay? But like,
And you know
I
what?
was
I
there.
don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of people convert to religions because their other friends or their boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't think that's necessarily the wrong move necessarily. Like,
Yeah.
it's your spiritual life and you choose what feels right and wrong in the moment. I don't believe make a mistake. You just make a choice and move on.
Yeah.
So.
You can think that it's not the best choice for her. There are people that think that me leaving my religion altogether was not a good choice for me. But I don't agree with that. So she made what choice felt best to her and her relationship at that time.
And I'm glad that she did. Personally, I'm glad that she did. I don't subscribe to the Mormonism beliefs. I think it's bullshit. But if it brings you a community that's helpful, I'm all for it. So
I get that. And I like that her parents were not like pushing it on her, but also like not trying to pull her away from it. Like,
yeah,
they're just
let
like, her
okay,
find out who she is on her own.
You do your own thing. And I think that her family strikes me as very open-minded. I don't really know this, but like just based on appearance, when I saw them in interviews, like her dad has long hair. Her mom, you know, she wears a lot of like dark eye makeup. Her sister has some tattoos and, you know, piercings and stuff that I don't know. I feel like it's more of a go your own way. We love you.
Live and let live is like, could be a motto for their family.
I think so. So as soon as Ashley turns 19, she's hell-bent. She's going to England. It's happening. So she told her family, you're with me or against me on this. So you either support me fully on it or you're against my relationship if you don't support me going. She's laying down ultimatums. Okay.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah. Well, her dad said, he was like, okay, I love you and like, we'll support you. So save your money, go and like do whatever's going to make you happy. We want you to be happy. So you tell us what you need from us, save up your money. We'll make it happen. So, and they did. Like, they were very supportive of this. They also looked up. Yeah, at this point, she's an adult, so they don't really have any other choice but to support her.
Yeah.
But they want to. They want her to be happy. So she seemed happy with him long distance. So they thought, why not? Why not just try it out? So. And she followed the rules. She waited until she was of age. So, but her parents looked up Jack because they were worried. They're not like worried, but they just were like, let's just check.
I would do a background check. Are you kidding me?
Well, they didn't find much information online, but her mom did call Jack and said, I'm sending you my baby, so just make sure you take care of her. And he promised he would keep her safe. And Ashley's dad took her to the airport and he said, like, he really didn't even get a chance to hug her bye. She just happily skipped away because she was so thrilled that, like, this was it. She's finally getting to go. And so he didn't even get a bye hug. And that was the last time that he saw her, was at the airport.
My heart is already breaking.
I know. It's horrible too. Like, her family has done a lot of interviews and like her mom has to step away sometimes.
Yeah. I'm surprised she's even able to do the interview.
Like, who wouldn't? The parents that don't step away, I'm like, wow, I wish I could be that person, but my mental fortitude would not be there. I'd be right there with Ashley's mom, just like,
I don't even know if I'd be able to make it to the interview. Like, I'd be a fucking hot mess. I'd probably be in a mental institution. Like, just being honest, I don't think I'd handle it well.
Okay, so they drop her off at the airport. Everything's good. She heads off to her new future. And she was in the UK on a 6-month tourist visa.
Okay.
So she was planning to stay for a while.
Yeah.
She documented most of her life online. as a teenager, it was still the same as she grew up. So the trip was no exception. She filmed herself on the plane with all her things. She had made this whole, not like a care package, but like a plane preparation. I don't know.
Dude, these flights are long. So.
I know. Yeah. And she had so many cute little carry-on things. She was showing to the camera, and she's like, I've got this thing and I'm going to listen to this. And it's so cute. It's so cute.
Oh
she's so happy.
She's so adorable.
Yeah. And she's just glowing with happiness. And her first time meeting Jack was at the airport where he picked her up.
Oh my gosh. I can feel the excitement that she felt in that moment of just
kissing
joy.
and stuff, hug. They just can't stop hugging each other and kissing and just being close. That first, when you nuzzle and everything, when you finally get to be with your person.
He's 23 at this point.
Yes. Her first night there was wonderful. She called her mom and she was like, I fell asleep right as I got home because I was so tired. And he actually carried me to bed and tucked me in.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
I like him, but I know that I'm about to not like him.
How do you know he's the problem? How do you know that he's the problem?
It's because statistics.
I know. Okay, so they spend every waking minute together in the following days. They go see the sites she's posting online, every place that they go, every tour they go on. She's saying how gorgeous it is over there and that they're enjoying each other's company so much. She's just living the dream.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, the posts were not so honest.
Yeah, they never are.
Things were not actually so great in those moments. A lot of the moments were manufactured. It was a fantasy, but not the reality that she thought she was going to walk into for her new life.
Right.
Jack did not take her out to dinners or buy her flowers. He didn't do nice things for her, which is kind of weird if you've been long distance for a long time. You mailed her things. You said that you loved her. You were so excited to meet her. Wouldn't you think he'd it doesn't have to be expensive things, but wouldn't he shower her with affection and tangible things? Bring her a hand-picked flower, write her a note. I don't know. Something.
Take her on these dates.
Make her ramen. Make her food.
Yeah. Take her out to the sites. It's freaking England. Okay. She's from Canada.
Well, the sites that they ended up that they had gone to were all thanks to his mom. She took them there. Because it turns out that Jack wasn't working. So they were stuck in the flat most days and he had no money.
Wow. And did she know that before she went?
No. She was under the impression that he was working full time.
Wow.
In December of 2021, this is a month after she has come to stay with him in England, there was a call to a local ambulance service that Jack had overdosed.
Whoa. Okay. Didn't see that coming. Shit.
I didn't either. Ashley went with him to the ER. He was in the hospital for taking a bunch of pills with the goal of ending his life. I don't know what those were. I don't know what the pills were. I do know that it was something that could have ended his life, though.
Yeah.
So Ashley was the one that had called for help. When he got back from the hospital, he started getting more controlling. Apparently, he had been controlling a little bit.
Yeah.
But was more controlling now. So remember, he's got no money. He's got her stuck in this flat with him. So that's where control starts.
Yeah.
That's field one.
Yeah.
And things begin to escalate. Jack had gained access to Ashley's phone and all of her social media accounts, which she was very willing to give him access to. But she was wary about his, intentions.
Yeah.
She even sent a text to her friend saying, be careful what you say, he's watching. And then she unsent the message for everyone. So she waited till her friend read it and unsent it immediately.
Wow.
So
Red flag. Red fucking flag. And I have a theory about his suicide attempt, but I'm going to keep it to myself until we get further into the case.
Okay. I've been the person that unsent that kind of message. It is so
terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she spoke on the phone with her sister or family, she would tell them, like, in a really low voice, like, don't talk bad about Jack. Don't say anything about Jack. He's mad, or like, he thinks we're talking about him.
I would be terrified if I was her mother listening to this and like, be like, oh my God.
No, they were. Her parents and her sister were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
let's go home. Like, come on. Like, get on the plane right now. Come home.
They said, you can come home anytime. Her mom would text her and be like, you can come home anytime. It's no big deal. If you just want to come home and visit for a little bit, that's okay too. Like, whatever you want to do. We'll get the ticket.
Every opportunity to just get out.
There's actually a really disturbing voicemail. I don't encourage anyone to listen to this if you're triggered by domestic violence audio or verbal abuse audio stuff. I listened to it and I get, bristly when I hear that kind of shit. Yeah, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. In it, he says vividly that he wanted to murder and kill one of, like, he says, I want to murder her and I want to kill her in two different places, one of Ashley's friends. So, like, Ashley had been talking with this friend about the issues they were having. I believe this friend was encouraging her to leave. And so he had access to her phone, and so he called that person and left a voicemail about.
So was he threatening to kill the friend or wow.
He wanted to kill the friend. Yeah. Ashley's sister, Haley, recalls being on FaceTime with Ashley on several occasions where Jack would throw things at her. And once he actually hit Ashley over the head with a glass cup.
Are you kidding me? Oh, this poor baby.
And her family is telling her, leave, get out.
And this is her only relationship she's ever had because she's been with him. She
never dated anybody else. She never had interest in anyone but Jack.
Oh my God, this poor baby. My heart hurts.
She doesn't know. How could she know? She doesn't know, So the chats with Ashley's family and friends began decreasing, which is a huge red flag for someone who's always on social media and always texting friends, calling. This is a big problem. Her contact that used to be so constant was just steadily dropping. And with that, like, her dad specifically said, like, there were less emojis, there were less smiles.
Oh,
like, that's a big deal.
It is.
That may seem like stupid to maybe
it's
an
not.
older person, but like, it really does mean a lot.
Because when you use emojis, like, you're going the extra mile, you're more engaged in the conversation. And if you're somebody who uses emojis pretty consistently and then you stop,
it says something about your headspace. Yeah. Or how you are feeling about that conversation. I don't know. So anytime her family questioned her and said, are you okay? She would shut down any accusations or questions. She assured them, I'm fine. But they begged her, come home. We want you home.
Yeah.
Jack's neighbor, Helen? Yes, Helen. One morning said that Ashley ran to her home. Her phone had been smashed just to bits, and she had cut her hand. And she said Jack had hurt her. Animal abuse is coming up. If you gotta leave, go. Get out. He had also thrown their kitten against the wall. I don't know if the kitten made it. I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh my God.
She called her sister at Helen's and she said, okay, I'm ready to come home. I want to come home now. And the family booked her flight right then and there. Like, her grandmother went and paid for the ticket. Her dad was like, I'm there. Don't worry about it. You can leave your stuff. We'll get you all new stuff. You just come home.
Yeah.
The only delay, though, this is happening in 2021. So COVID testing is absolutely mandatory at this time. So she's waiting to get a COVID test done. While she's waiting to get tested, Jack wants to talk to her. And Helen is like, you probably should not go back over there. Let's just wait here until it's time for your test. And she's like, I'm going to go. He seems calm. I'm going to go back to his flat. This was the worst decision she could have made.
Ever made.
I understand why she did it, though. And I don't blame her.
But it's also it is when you decide to leave, it is the most dangerous time.
You can't go back.
In a domestic violence situation, you cannot go back, especially if you're going to tell them you're going home. Like, it is the most dangerous time.
So February 1st, 2022. This is happening in February. Late January that happened.
Okay.
So February 1st, the next day, 3:30 a.m. in Canada, Ashley's sister gets some alarming text asking Haley to answer the phone. They're from Ashley. She's saying, answer the phone. I need you to answer the phone. Call me. She's called her like 16 times. Haley did not pick up. She was asleep. So she tried calling back as soon as she saw, and she called Jack. She called them both over and over. Dozens of calls, no answer. Ashley had also sent messages to a friend of hers asking her to contact sister missionaries. She said, they know things and I need help. So let me explain a little bit.
Okay.
Ashley had met with the sisters on at least one occasion that we can confirm. Sister missionaries are female volunteers of the LDS Church who serve missions around the world. They can be called Mormon missionaries, but they're female, so they're called sister missionaries a lot of the time. The family believes that Ashley had begun reaching out to the local Mormons for encouragement and support during the tumultuous relationship with Jack. So she confided in the sisters in her area about what was happening, that she was fearful of him. And so the family and the friend were able to locate the local sister missionaries. And the sisters were very agreeable on the spot to go knock at Jack's door and try to communicate with Ashley.
Yeah.
So they went. You can see ring footage of them going up to the door. There's two of them. They knocked several times with no answer, and then they immediately called the police. And I'm very glad that they took action so quickly.
Wow, so fast.
So like Ashley had said they know things. They knew what was happening. They knew what was happening. So I'm very glad that they did that. So good on you, sister missionaries, for stepping up. It was afternoon in England at this time that the police were called. The police knocked and knocked. I watched the body cam footage. I don't recommend watching it. I don't recommend it.
Okay.
They saw Jack inside through a window and they warned him, open up or we're going to bust down the door. They opened the mail slot. They warned him again. You better come out or we're coming in. They don't wait very long. They do like the two warnings and like, that's it. Like, we got to make sure the female is okay. So they bust down that door. And it's two officers. So they enter immediately and they saw into the bedroom, like right as you open the door, you can see into the bedroom where Jack was laying next to Ashley on the bed. And there was blood everywhere. And you can see it on the body cams.
Oh, they didn't blur
Don't watch it. A lot of it is blurred, but I just don't recommend watching it.
Oh my God.
So there's blood all over the room. It's like something out of a horror film. One officer immediately started to tend to Ashley and the other asked Jack what happened. And he said, I went psychotic. I'm sorry. He asked for clarity. What does that mean? And he said, I strangled and I stabbed her. Shortly after he had done this, he went on Facebook and updated his profile photo to a picture of him and Ashley with the comment, "Forever mine."
Oh, that's fucked up.
It's just another, like, he had so much control over her and he even controlled her life ending.
Yeah.
He even controlled how this ended. He controlled the narrative the whole fucking time.
Oh my God.
She literally went over there because she was in love with you. And she thought you were going to give her a good life and protect her and have a family with her.
Can you imagine being the parents and finding this out and then seeing that status on Facebook? Shoot me now.
Oh, I, you know what? He better get some protection whenever he gets out, because I'd be afraid of her sister. The way her sister was speaking, I would fear for my life if I were him. Like, I don't think she'd be afraid to go to prison. I think she'd say, hell yeah, I did it.
It's worth it.
Like, I literally licked his blood off my teeth. Like, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if that's who she is, but like,
that's the vibe you got.
Pissed. I would be too.
Rightfully so.
If anyone messes with my sister, you got me all the way fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not Lola anymore. I've turned into something different, you know?
Oh my God. Your sister? If your sister?
Don't fuck with my sister.
Don't. I've met her. Don't fuck with her. I would want to be a
will wear down your self-esteem in 0.5 seconds, and then she'll like bite through your skin and tear out your jugular and be like, it tastes gross. It's your fault. You'll walk away and be like, I'm pretty sure she just took my soul. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a soul eater. Yeah. Okay.
But I love her. She's a great person.
She's the best. My sister's really the best person. Really. She's so great. Back to a horrible scene. Ashley was brought out of the flat and laid on the front lawn where EMTs tried to resuscitate her. Oh God, I saw it's on the body cam footage.
Why didn't...
She's blurred. She's blurred.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, I just don't understand why they brought her outside and not just like put her on the floor. So it's a really
small flat. I understand why they did it, actually.
Okay.
Now, Helen, the neighbor, she had different thoughts. She was upset. She was like, they laid that baby on the front lawn in front of everybody to see. And she said that was just wrong. And I understand where she's coming from. But at the same time, that bedroom looked extremely small. And if you wanted to lay her on the floor, and there's no way to get to the side of her body to start compressions.
But also they're having to do two jobs at one time. They're having to get to her body, get her to a position to where they can do any kind of like resuscitation, while also taking the perpetrator and putting him in custody. So they're doing two things at one time.
Yeah. It's just not a good it's just not a good situation, them having to lay her on the lawn.
No.
It seems like on the outside looking in looks disrespectful, but I understand why they did it.
I don't know the layout. I would have thought like just move her to another room, like living room.
From what I saw, there's like a short hallway right as you look in, but like to the side is where the bedroom was. And it looks like the bed takes up the majority of the room.
So it was easier and quicker.
It's just easier to take her right outside the flat because they're on the ground level. They're on the ground level.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they're thinking that they have a chance of actually saving her life,
they're just trying to move quickly.
Preserving her dignity is not at the top of the priority list when it's your life that's on the line. I can see that. It still sucks, but I understand.
So Helen watched all of this happen, and she is very emotional in one interview. I think she was only in one interview, to be honest. Yeah. And she was very emotional about this because she said she could hear them like cracking her body. And there was so much blood.
Brutal. Yeah.
It's really, and blood's getting all over them while they're doing this. And just seeing her little limp body was just, because she had just come to her door. She had just
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, she said, I couldn't even censor myself. I just yelled out, he stabbed that baby. He stabbed that girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, everyone was coming out of their apartments and I just was screaming. Like, she said, I just kind of blacked out and was like, he stabbed that baby. Ugh. Helen, I'm so sorry.
And I don't know. I would think people who are more invested in like true crime and things would probably know this, but just in case you don't, it's very common to break ribs in doing CPR or, any kind of resuscitation like that. If you're doing it right, you are most likely going to crack somebody's rib, especially if they are a smaller person or an older person. It's very common. And I just can't imagine seeing and hearing all of that. Like that's trauma.
Yeah. The worst part is that like, and I don't even know, it's not the worst part. It's just another bad part of it is that in watching the body cam footage, they only resuscitate, like they try to resuscitate for like less than a minute because
it became evident very quickly.
She wasn't there anymore. She wasn't there. And you can hear them say like, she's beyond help, isn't she? And they're like, yeah, we need to go ahead and declare it. Like, we're just doing more damage to her body. We're just like, we're not gonna help her at this point. She's been gone.
And at that point,
he's been laying with a dead body, is what they're saying. Like, she's been gone. Like, we're trying, but
yeah, at that point, your priority needs to be preserving any evidence that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he confessed. He can retract that at any moment. Like,
oh my God, you're gonna be so pissed.
He fucking retracts it.
No.
Okay, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't.
Just know that I broke my last throwing knife over this. I was so after I did the research, I was like, yep, gotta get that out of my system.
Oh no. I promise I won't take it out on you, Kevin, okay?
Poor Kevin. So February 1st, 2022, Ashley Wadsworth is declared dead. Helen called Ashley's family to inform them what she saw.
Yeah.
But she said, I don't have anything confirmed, like if she's gone or not, because they just went ahead and took her body to the hospital. So the police called them shortly after to confirm that Ashley was gone. And her mom's first words, they said, we have the perpetrator. And she said, it's Jack. And they said, yes, ma'am, it is Jack. And so he was taken into custody and arrested and immediately called for a lawyer. Ashley's mom also, after she had been told that and she blurted out the thing about Jack, she blacked out.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, I would too.
She literally, I don't think she remembers that day at all. I wouldn't either.
Your body is probably pumping so much adrenaline into your system that it cannot handle it. So its safest thing to do is make you black out in that moment. And
it's a survival thing.
It is.
In interrogations, when Jack is sitting with the detectives and his lawyer is present, he is only answering no comment. So they said, were you with Ashley on these days? No comment. Did you hurt Ashley like you said you did? No comment. Literally to every single question, no
little
comment.
Pussy-ass bitch.
He was emotionless in every interview, and police were very quick to go back and look for clues and get a search warrant and start grabbing up all the stuff.
Thank you.
And they were like, where's the weapon? We've got to find what he stabbed her with. And they found it. He hid it, but they found it. It was behind
under the bed.
No. It was behind the radiator next to the bed. And it was confirmed with Ashley's blood on the blade and Jack's prints on the handle.
All right. Done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Put him up. Lock him up.
I have really, really horrible news.
I
told you that he stabbed her and strangled her, his confession.
Yeah. Yes.
The forensic autopsy revealed she had been stabbed at least 90 times in the chest area.
90?
90.
Oh, okay. I need everyone to do an experiment right now. I need you to take your hand and I need you to start stabbing and counting. You're going to get to 20 and you're going to get exhausted. I don't care how much fucking adrenaline is in your body.
And that's just stabbing the air.
Yeah. You're not going through skin, bones, flesh, nothing. Organs. He is seeing the blood. Every stab that goes in and comes out, blood is going everywhere. It's on the knife. It's on his hand.
On him.
It's on her.
Everywhere.
It's splattering and splurting everywhere.
That's why I said it was like a fucking horror film when you walked in there.
90. I am shocked that her body was ever fucking moved. That must have been a horrific scene. You walk in, you know that person's fucking dead. You try for a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pulse. You understand the horrific scene that it is. Why was her body moved? I don't get that. I really
Helen
don't
doesn't
get
either. Helen was pissed off because this is really gross, but just think about this. Someone is trying very hard to push down on your ribs. They're cracking them and blood is spurting upward as they push down out of those wounds.
Out of 90 wounds. Which some of these, 90, there's got to be multiple wounds that are like coming together to create even more like a massive hole.
A huge,
gas. Yeah.
For sure. If it's 90, I mean, they said at least.
I was thinking there was like a couple stab wounds.
No.
And then he just like let her bleed out. So I could understand them moving the body then, but you walk into fucking Dante's Inferno and say, yeah, I'm going to try to, I don't get it.
I don't either, but I understand this is not something, they were thinking this was like a typical domestic violence call probably. They probably weren't thinking they were going to come up on murder. So I'll give them a bit of grace there. They were trying to save a young woman. I get it.
Yeah.
So not only that, there were signs of strangulation. So he did confess correctly that he stabbed and strangled her. So I don't know when that took place, though. If he strangled her first, if he stabbed her, then strangled her, and then stabbed her again. I don't know.
Strangulation takes such a long time. I don't know if people realize how long it's not a very quick process.
No.
The
body wants to survive. The body is built to survive.
To strangle somebody to pass out is not going to kill them. So you have to strangle them and beyond that point.
Yeah.
So when is he... That is a horrific scene. I don't even want to know how it happened because that's what the... I'm sorry, I'm talking in circles now. Keep going.
It's okay. I understand. It's a very jarring thing. There were videos on Ashley's phone that were found after her death, revealing videos that she took of her own body, showing large and deep bruising on her arms and legs. I did see this, and it's like one of her hands was like so puffed up, and from the like almost the wrist all the way up was just dark, deep purple and red. And then all down her forearm, both of her lower legs were just completely wrecked with deep, deep bruising. It was horrific looking. And
poor baby.
So this had been going on for a bit before it escalated to stabbing. So they were establishing more and more evidence as to he was escalating to build this into something bigger. And police keep digging into Jack's past. It turns out that Jack had a long history since 2014 of controlling women.
Hold on. 2014?
Mm-hmm.
So his controlling behavior started in 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning he was not just dating Ashley.
No.
So he's also
wasn't.
a cheating little bastard.
Yeah. So he had controlling and violent behaviors towards other women, and he was well known by police in his area. So he would use social media to harass women, and he had charges raised against him in the past for false imprisonment, assault, coercive and controlling behavior.
Oh my gosh.
There were even restraining orders taken out by other women on file with local police.
Wow.
So,
no judgment to her family. This is a learning.
They couldn't have found it. That literally, they couldn't have found it unless they had access to like local police.
I tell you, this is something that I have learned from somebody else's personal experience.
What?
If you are curious or you just want to do some checks, you call the local police department of that area or a couple of the local police departments where that person lives.
Okay.
And you ask if this person is known, like their records are public.
Yeah.
That's public knowledge. I'm pretty sure it's the same way in Britain. You can get those records and just say, this is who it is. This is their birth, date of birth. Do they have a record? When I tell you that a lot of times these police departments will say, whoa, like, yes, we have a record. This is the proper channels to go through and accessing that record. Or straight up saying, like, don't be around that person. Like, I know someone specifically that their mother called the police department in the area and the sheriff answered the phone, really small town. And he said, get your daughter away from him right now.
Oh my God.
He is very well known. So if you can't find it on the internet, call the police department. Just fucking call the police department.
Police. They work for you. Come on.
Even if you're not able to get any information, you at least tried. This is not blaming.
You tried, and there's a recorded call on file where you tried to
ask me something. This is no blame to her parents. This is just
they just looked on the internet. I understand. They were just doing like a basic
which is
Google
what
search.
Most people would think. I wouldn't have ever thought to call the police department. I only know that because I know somebody who did it, and the police were like, "Stay the fuck away from this person."
So just know you can do that. So, turns out there were also other restraining orders taken out by other women on file with local PD. Despite Jack's initial statement of a psychotic episode, he was deemed fit for court and sane. So he couldn't plead insanity. He confessed to the crime once he figured out that he couldn't plead insanity. There was no trial, just a sentencing hearing in October of 2022. The family did bury her in Canada, so she was shipped home to be buried at home. And her family traveled to England to hold a vigil for Ashley, so it was her family worked alongside a local anti-violence campaign in the area, and they set up the vigil for Ashley. And so the family got to,
That's very sweet.
It was really nice. The family then visited Ashley's local church, the Parish Church of the Ascension.
Okay.
Just another Mormon church. The church held a service for Ashley and blessed the family, along with planting a yellow flower in Ashley's name in the courtyard. There's a plaque of her name and a little scripture thing there with her name, and that is a permanent installation in their courtyard. It's there to this day. It will be there forever for her. So they really stepped up.
They really did step up. We got to give them props.
Yeah. The family also donated a bleed kit to the community's local pub, which is really important. If you don't know what a bleed kit is, it's for...
I do not.
Gunshot wounds or stab victims. It's got like heavy absorption bandages and like things to like pack the wound, and just a lot of like really expensive emergency supplies that you wouldn't have in a regular first aid kit. So that was really nice of the family to do that.
Yeah.
They also later traveled to the courts in England to read their victim impact statement and face Jack.
Wow.
And they did do that. The first time meeting him in person was at that court.
Oh my gosh.
And they gave it to him.
Good.
I gave it to him. So they all got to say their piece. Jack will serve 23 and a half years as a minimum. So around 2050-ish is when he'll be released. And Jack, I would be scared if I were you. You're not
okay,
safe.
So 23 and a half years minimum. Is there a max? Like, I don't know
anything about that. Yeah, and I don't know how their courts work over there, so I can't provide any more detail. But I know we have listeners in the UK. So if you guys know anything about I don't know, minimum and maximum sentences, just let me know.
My assumption, and I could be wrong, so correct us over on our Instagram for the pictures for this case. But if I'm assuming that it's like 23 and a half years minimum, but it could become longer depending on how he does in jail, or if he like shows remorse or, shows to not be a danger to society. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's my guess.
But his name is Jack Seppel, date of birth 9/1/99, from Kelmsworth, Essex, just in case you want that info.
There you go.
I'm not saying you have to use it. I'm not saying to use it. I'm not saying to contact him. I'm not saying to do anything to him.
Not at all. But I have a question.
Yeah.
He didn't have a job.
Yeah.
But he lived in this flat.
Uh-huh.
Who did he live in this flat with? Is this like he's still living with his family?
Yeah. He lives with his mom.
Okay, so where the hell was his mom during all of this?
I don't know. I've got I've got nothing on her from that day. I just know that she was with them, like, to go, like, sightseeing a couple of days. Like, Big Ben, stuff like that. So, she paid for it and paid for travel there. So, I don't know anything about that.
I hate that for her.
But I guess I feel like if she was there at the time,
You've had to hear it.
I would have read it somewhere or heard it somewhere.
Yeah.
But, because, like, that would mean there were 2 hostages in there.
I honestly, I think he would have probably, his mom, out of fear of getting caught or something.
Maybe.
I think that could have been an option. It could have been something that could have happened. Could have not, but who knows? She had to have not been there. Did she know about the abuse? Because how do you miss all of this abuse? The mom.
I really don't know.
Ashley had been abused for so long. She had these. Her hand was
She could have
swollen.
been afraid of him too. So, like, she knew about the abuse.
That's true.
She could have been being abused too, living with him. So, I don't really know. And also,
that's true.
I'll say this: I was never hit. Things were thrown at me and around me. Things were like broken all around me by my ex-husband. But when we stayed with his mom, or we stayed with my mom, he was a perfect gentleman. Anytime that they were around, he was angel sunshine boy.
Yeah.
Now, when my mom was in the other room and we were behind literally this door and we were in this room, he would just like speak really lowly to me, and abuse can happen on whisper levels. Yeah. It can happen quietly. It can be don't make a sound, or else.
Yeah.
Let me do this or else. So
yeah.
It's possible that it was going on right under her nose.
And she didn't know it.
And
or they came up with excuses.
How could she know if she didn't see anything? She didn't hear anything. How could she know?
I wonder if it was like a situation where she like had a boyfriend, and so she would stay at her boyfriend's house a few nights or whatever.
Could be possible. Yeah.
And then that's when a lot of things.
I don't know if his parents were married.
Speculation. Yeah.
I don't know if his parents were married. Got a picture of Haley. So Haley is the one that's got the glasses, and Ashley's the one in the back.
Yeah, Haley looks like somebody like you would not want to mess with.
Oh, and this is Jack, and God, what a mugshot.
He looks like a toad. I'm not even kidding. Like, I saw him and my brain went, that's a toad. 100%, that's a toad. But I think it's important to talk about when it comes to like domestic violence. And when these kids are in school, like, I don't know how Canada works, but in America, we have sex education or, health and whatever you want to call it. Every state has different laws regarding sex education. I live in the South, so the sex education that my kids will be subjected to in the public school is very heavily pushing abstinence. And so there's other education that we will give them at home, because there are other ways to have safe sex and everything. We want them to be fully informed. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this. I was reading through all of what has to be covered within sex education here in Tennessee, and it said that they cover relationship violence and dating violence and what that looks like and what to be aware of. And I was like, I love that is something that's required by the state. Like, we need to talk about this, and we need our kids from a young age to understand what dating violence looks like. And because some of these kids, they don't have the best home life. So they only see relationships that are highly abusive or toxic. So they go into relationships thinking that like that's that's normal and that's acceptable when it's not. So if it's being taught at a, public education system to not accept that, to be aware of domestic violence situations, we're setting our kids more up for success in the long run.
Yeah.
Wow. This one sucked.
It's just, and
23 years. I'm sorry. That is not fucking long enough.
It's not, because she's going to be 19 forever. And that's kind of nice, but it's kind of horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
And
her parents have to live with this forever. And he gets 23 years and gets to get out? No, thank you.
I know. And her mom just kills me. Because she's like, her mom obviously has a really hard time thinking about her last moments. They all do. But she said she keeps thinking about it. And she's like, was she scared? She literally says, did she ask for us? We don't know. Did she ask for us? Like, what were her last words? I don't know what her last words were. And
that will haunt her until she dies.
I watched a video of them like decorating her grave, and her mom. So it's, I don't know what to call it. It's like a double grave. I don't know if that's what you call it, but where two people will be laid on top of each other. So Ashley is 12 feet deep. Her mom will be 6 feet deep on top of her. So she's like, ugh. The footage of her going to the grave, and like right as she comes over, she's like, hey baby, mommy loves you. And she like kisses the headstone with her picture.
Fuck me. God damn it.
It's so sweet, but it's so horrible. It's so horrible. I hate this.
No mother should have to bury their baby.
I know. And like her dad, he started having chest pains after learning about her death. Because he's so fucking distraught. He's like thinking he's gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Thinking about his baby girl.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
I'm glad we covered this case though. It's very important conversations to be had. And you know what? Mormon church, your dad did good.
You did good this time.
You did wonderful.
I'm impressed.
I'm very impressed.
It was a really good community for Ashley. I'm glad they stepped up for her and were able to like support her when she was feeling low, and then they honored her in such a really kind way. And the fact that they're literally not gonna remove that installation from their courtyard is just.
And think about this: if she would have never converted to Mormonism before she left, she would have had fucking nobody in England.
I know.
Nobody. So by converting, she was able to find a community, no matter like if it was small, she found a community to help her through a very tumultuous time in her life.
Yeah.
Didn't end well, but she at least had people there that cared.
True. I want to add something, but I don't want to make Ashley look a certain way. We don't really need to know, I guess, the reason why her phone was smashed when she came to Helen's house. But I feel like there may be questions about the buildup.
Yeah.
The fight and everything.
Yeah.
We know that he was mad that she was going to go back to Canada.
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
And I don't know where this information comes from that's why it makes me a little, I'm not sure if it came from Helen, Ashley telling Helen,
Okay.
or if it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'll say this isn't fact. But what I read was that he had taken her phone and like seen a picture of a naked woman and called her a lesbian. I don't know the context around it.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And who gives a fuck
Right?
what she likes or liked? Like, who cares? Also, maybe it wasn't even sexual.
Yeah.
You know? Like, maybe it wasn't even that way. It doesn't matter if it was that way. Either way, it doesn't matter. But apparently, that was the reason he smashed the phone specifically.
And it could have easily just been something as simple as like somebody she follows on Instagram. I follow.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe she scrolled on Instagram and there was like, I have naked ladies all over mine.
So do
body
I.
positivity and
Yeah.
It's not sexual. It's literally just social media.
There's a girl I follow and I followed her. She grew up in the Lauren Daigle, not Lauren Dick, Lauren Drain, grew up in the Westboro Baptist Church, and she's out now and everything, and she does like fitness and everything. I've talked about her in LinkedIn before. She does fitness, and she is all sorts of toned. And she has an OnlyFans, and she takes sexy pictures, and I have followed her for years, and I still look at her stuff, and I think she's gorgeous. But if he saw a picture of that, I'm sure he'd be like, "That's a naked woman," and I'm like,
"Naked woman." Yeah.
Yes, he's close, but yes.
Because I can't confirm exactly where that came from, I don't want it to hold much weight because it really doesn't matter why he smashed her phone or why he's mad. It doesn't fucking matter because he shouldn't have been mad in the first place. And if he was mad, you can be mad and not be violent. So
absolutely.
Fuck off, you stupid cunt wipe. Anyway.
Limp dick.
You urethra sucking trash bag soggy lampshade. Disgusting.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we have a slight little bit of brevity, how about we take a sharp right turn into our palate cleansers?
Yeah.
Because we definitely need them after this case, because fuck me.
I have mine.
Okay. What's yours? I bet ours is the same thing.
No. Okay. No, I don't want to say it because I know that it's going to be yours. I have a different one.
Okay.
I got the Bath and Body Works candle, the Eddie Munson leather jacket. Let me tell you, I should have filmed myself opening it and smelling it, because let me tell you, I opened it and tears came to my eyes because it was the sweetest smell. And I literally thought of Eddie Munson and I was like, I miss you, Eddie. It's been 2 years and I'm unwell.
I need you in my life.
So yeah, I fucking cried over a candle today because it smelled like my fictional boyfriend. So
yeah, exactly. It's very valid. I did not know about the Bath and Body Works Stranger Things collection until literally last night. And then Lola called me today. And she was
called her today and I was like, it's an emergency. My mail, it's an emergency.
It was quite hilarious. My palate cleanser is that I get to see my BFF tomorrow.
Yes. I'm going to see her. It's going down. I'm going to be so sleepy.
I know you are.
I'm going to have sleepy hugs.
That's okay. That's how it was when I got to your house.
I know. Yeah.
But I'm excited. My kids are excited they get to see her. She's going to be showering outside because I don't have a bathtub right now.
That's such a weird thing. You know that TikTok that's like, here's my friend. They're from the South. Hi. Have you seen that TikTok thing?
No.
It's like, this is my friend. And then it'll be like, hi. They're from the South. And they're like, did you have to say that about me? Like,
yeah,
this is the one thing you have to say about me. And so in this case, it would be, this is my friend. Hi, everyone. She showers outside with me. What?
It's an experience. I'm enjoying it. I know I've talked about this like 2 weeks in a row, but like, it's fun.
By all means.
But now I'm excited she gets to come. And my kids are excited. I'm excited. We're all excited here. Okay, guys?
I'm going to scream, cry, and throw up. No, I'm not.
Exactly. So
Anyway.
I'm going to take Lola. This will not be a case that we share here on the podcast because it's not religiously related, but I'm going to take her to a restaurant that's in one of our like small little towns that used to be owned by a serial killer clown. And not serial killer. Sorry, killer clown. She wasn't a serial killer. It was a she. So it's a little restaurant called the Purple Cow.
That's
not
so
even
cute.
It is actually kind of cute. But back in the day, I think this is like the 90s, the owner was having an affair, and the guy she was having an affair with out in Florida, she dressed up as a clown, went to his house, and like I think she had a bouquet of flowers and then like rang the doorbell.
Oh my God.
It's
I know
that
this.
case.
Oh
It's
my
that case.
fucking
And
God.
she shot the wife. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say she shot the wife.
She shot the wife. Killed her.
Oh my
Dead.
God.
Came back to Tennessee. I know.
What in the world? Wow.
So I'm going to take you there.
I'm upset we don't get to cover that one, but it's fine.
I know. The food apparently sucks when it changed ownerships. Everybody locally was like, I know this is bad, but like the food was way better.
Bring them back just for the food. That's all. Keep them in cuffs. Like,
I was like, oh shit, that's bad. I've only ate there once and I had spaghetti and it was good.
okay.
But I've heard they get like everything wrong, but
Well,
it's an experience. It's no Milo's, but
you didn't taste it beforehand, so you have no frame of reference. So maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, that is all for now, guys. With that, please stay safe, stay skeptical,
and steer clear of the cultish carousel. We interrupt this episode with a message from our sponsor. If you've ever deconstructed your faith, you know it's not easy. But just imagine if you could have people to guide you through the process.
That's right. People like Jim Palmer, Kristen Dumez, author of Jesus and John Wayne, Jennifer Knapp, Brad Jerzak, Brian Zond, Paul Young, author of The Shack, and more. Well, if you head over to choiracademy.com and register for Square 2 using the promo code LOLA, you'll get 10% off the regular registration cost of this awesome course and community just for being a fan of our show.
All links can be found in the show notes. Again, that's code LOLA, LOLA, for 10% off the Square 2 course. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, like, subscribe, buy our merch. We have some awesome, cute, beautiful shirts out there and sweatshirts that just like, they're so cozy. Go get you some. We're going to have some new merch coming out soon. I've been working on some designs. Anyways, Deadly Faith is brought to you by Choircast Network. It is produced by Laci Bean and Lola Robbins and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.